Walk Our Song, 6 foot, 7 foot. Marlon Wayne's my favorite song. You know, when I play it in my car, it's super loud.
Guns it. Sanders in a pocket. Oh, what a catch. Travis Hunter, give him the Heisman now.
My job is to come out and be Travis Hunter, come out and play how they envision me to play and, you know, exceed all their expectations. I mean, in the pros, it's a lot different. You know, all I got is football. In college, I had to manage school, football, and, you know, personal life. But, you know, I had a good team around me. So in college, it was kind of easy to me. You know, I pretty much, you know, focused on football, but I did my schoolwork. And, you know, in the pros, it's going to be the same way for me, but I don't have schoolwork. So I can go my 24 hours and nothing but football.
Goal. Here's McCord trying to win it for Syracuse. Gives it to Allen. Allen is stopped by Woodard. Still going. No! He gets through. Allen gets through. He wins the game.
Look out. There goes two. No flags. Touchdown.
With the 200th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Rayon Lane III, defensive back, Navy.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, this time we're not lying. We are all back together for the first time in half a month. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Jaguars Today. I'm Mike Dempsey. Good morning, Tony Smith.
Good morning.
Did you miss me for the last 2 weeks? You liar.
The show's best when we're all here, man.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I do like the trio being together. Even Dylan Denmark. Good morning, Dylan Denmark.
Yup.
I know you didn't miss me.
Nope.
Saw you yesterday.
Yup.
Saw you last Sunday.
Yup.
Yesterday went better than last Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yesterday was terrible.
You know, nobody wants a recap of my golf game. But if you do, hit me up. I'll DM you shot by shot yesterday because it went well.
3 words. It was good.
It was good
Moving on.
yesterday. All right. It was good. It was so good yesterday. Dylan and I are playing again today.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, because Dylan's going to do helmets and heels. Then he's off at 2 o'clock. So we're going to go put a peg in the ground.
It's a rare Monday for Dylan.
Go chase the sun. It is.
Yeah.
I know. All right. So I don't know what you got. I followed along a little bit. I actually didn't sleep in as much as I thought I was going to, Tone.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get anything accomplished other than replacing my windshield for the second time already. Got a car that's like, what will you say, 6 weeks old?
Yeah, if that.
Maybe 6
Not
weeks old.
much older than that if it is.
I'm on my third windshield
That's
already.
crazy.
Like, I-95 has gotten me twice already.
Stop driving behind those dump trucks, Mike. Come on,
It
now.
must be, right? Like, you know, I don't know, man. I had a 2016 Honda, and I think we replaced the windshield once in 8 years or whatever it was, you know? And it just, I mean, I had a crack, Tone. It started out like 8 to 10 inch crack. And then it branched off of that. And that one kept growing out towards the passenger side. And then the branch came right in front of my face. It really looked like mini Texas Longhorns were on the windshield of my car.
Yeah.
It was not good. But, you know, I don't know. What's the law on that?
That's crazy.
Twice. I mean, like the first one was just like a pebble right in my face. And you had that little spider web crack right there.
Yeah.
And this one, it was low, but it was like, man, like
nothing you can do. If it
you
happens,
got
it
pulled over
happens.
like that, what's the law on that? Like if you're driving around in a car like that, I have no idea.
I'm sure it would. There might be something about your vision if it's impaired.
Yeah,
with a crack like
that.
But it may be one of those things where as long as you get it replaced, there's no ticket kind of thing.
I got you. Yeah,
that would be my guess.
And that's what that they ordered the wrong one, so it took much longer than expected. We're going to get anyway. So that was my exciting vacation, people. All right, staycation, got the windshield done.
Yeah,
didn't sleep in a whole lot. I'm on a Mission Impossible movie marathon because my son had never watched them before, and I'm ready to see the last one.
Sure.
And so now we're up through number 5. We've made it through 5.
Cool.
And he's very lukewarm on the whole series, but whatever. I enjoy. Tom Cruise can make an action movie, man. He can absolutely make an action movie.
No doubt about that.
I don't know.
They are kind of fun when they're spread out a little bit. Like it would be a different experience of Mission Impossible if you're watching them all like one after another after another.
Well, they were spread out though, like over time. I mean, the first one came out in like 96.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I saw it when it came out.
Right.
And then I waited a few years and saw the second one in the theater, and I saw them all in the theater when they came out. Right. So it would be a different experience of Mission Impossible if it was just I'm binging Mission Impossible.
Anyway, my sports teams had a good start to the week. bad ending to the week. So, let's go Jags, man.
Vanderbilt was the number one team in the country and didn't get out of the regional weekend.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. It wasn't a great...
Not pretty.
It wasn't a great week for a lot of local baseball and softball, apparently. No. But anyway, you know what? I hope everybody had a nice weekend. Glad to be back. People are, you got to go back to work. Hey, I don't hate my job. I love my job.
Fun.
We have a great job. Yeah. So I definitely understand why a lot of people are like, oh, man, vacation's over. Back to the drudgery. There's no drudgery at 1010XL, man. I went, here was my day, Tone. I went over to practice this morning. I got on the sideline for 30 minutes and watched them kick the ball and throw the ball around. All I saw out of Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. was where they're playing catch together. That's all that went down today. And that's about the extent of my analysis. They were playing catch in a corner to the point early on in practice where we're wondering, are they going to be doing anything today?
Did you see any dance moves?
Maybe a light dance. I did not. No dance moves. No. I didn't see any of that 49-inch vertical or whatever. Yeah. How big is Travis Hunter's vertical?
It looked like he was floating in that clip.
It's insane how high he was up in that picture. Am I wrong?
Nuts. It was. He was skywalking. It was crazy.
You know what else is crazy, Tone? Maybe it's not crazy. To me, it's just a little much right now. And maybe I'm the one, because I wasn't here in the midst of it, that I'm overplaying this a little bit. But I know Jeff, and I talked about it with him, Jeff Prosser on Crosstalk.
Yeah.
Made some comment last week about, hey, if the Jags go 6-11, I guess if it's on Trevor, you're going to be looking to replace him. And by the way, Jeff said this morning he has ultimate confidence that it won't. If they go 6-11, it's not going to be because of the quarterback, right? So I'm not trying to put him in a corner here. So I got somebody that asked me about this, and here's the exact. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, got it right here. If the Jags go 6-11 next year, this is from Brandon. Hit me up a couple days ago. Do you think Trevor is a big problem for that happening? I believe in Trevor, and I absolutely don't see that happening. But if it does, don't you think it's about time to start looking in another direction? I know it's good vibes right now, but just curious. Look, man, why are we so eager to identify a problem and rectify a problem that hasn't even proven itself to be a problem at this point? If you say you have this belief in Trevor and absolutely don't see it happening, then why are you spending your time worrying about it? Look, clearly, this new regime has shown you, Tony, that they're going to be proactive. They're going to make bold moves. They're going to do what they want. They cut Gabe Davis, taking on more dead cap hit. You could have just left him on the roster. They said, no, he's not going to be a part of it. Look at the depth chart. There's nowhere for him to really fit in here. We're not going to be one of these teams that belabors every little decision. We're going to make bold, decisive strikes when necessary. Now, Trevor's contract is a different story. I mean, the scope and scale of it is different, but why are we trying to put ourselves in this headspace where if the worst happens, what are we going to do? Why don't we at least give it a chance to play out and see if something better than the worst happens along the way? Do you not? I don't doubt for a second that there are contingency plans upon contingency plans, right? Like, there should be. Anyway, hey, we all believe this, but what if we're wrong? What is our next step in the process? But I think most of their focus and energy right now is making sure that they're not wrong, that they're right, that they believe that this is the guy that they're going to build everything around here in Jacksonville, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I've always been very firmly in the camp of I'll react to things that go wrong when they go wrong. I don't need to try to anticipate it, right? There's plenty of time to react to it when it goes wrong with these kind of situations. And for a player that plays at that important of a position that's just beginning the second contract that he signed last year here in Jacksonville, am I all that concerned that he's not going to live up to the expectations? No. That isn't a major concern for me. I think he's going to be fine as the quarterback here for the franchise. Am I anticipating that it's going to go poorly enough this year that it's going to be real conversations about moving on from Trevor Lawrence? No. I don't anticipate that that's going to be the way things work out, and I don't plan on spending a whole lot of time discussing how we should react if that were to happen.
If it goes that way, that's all we'll talk about, right?
Right. Like, I don't have to get ahead of that story, especially. If it happens, we'll all react to it in the moment when it happens. We're not anywhere near that kind of moment
Nobody's
yet.
trying to bury their head in the sand and say that Trevor's been the perfect quarterback or anything like that. But, man, I mean, if you just look at the positive side of the ledger, and I think that's what some people don't do. And I understand this person said, I believe, and I don't think it's going to happen. But what if it does? Then if you don't believe it's going to happen, just can we at least let it play out? If the warning signs are there, if he's not playing well, we'll talk about that along the way. Again,
it's not like he hadn't been criticized the last 2 years.
He's still 25, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't be further advanced than he is based on the expectations and all that. But what really is going to, even if he had been more advanced, right, and they still didn't win the games because he had injuries or whatever, and you got a new regime coming in, if he falls on his face, how much insurance does he have from past success not under Liam Cohen? I don't know how much, if at all, that would matter, right? It's what they observe day in, day out, and what Trevor Lawrence and everyone else, by the way, but we're talking about him specifically, the bricks they try to lay on top of one another to build whatever they're going to build for 2025. And then how does he go out there and execute that? Does he, perform better in early game situations? Does he perform better in the red zone? Is he making game-crippling mental decisions that go the wrong way? Again, I think a lot of teams would like to be in the position that the Jags are in right now, at least with the potential that they have on offense, if the line is good enough to give them an opportunity to execute the way they want to. So we'll get into some of that today, but it just even among the supporters, it's like, why are you waiting for the other shoe to drop? Why don't we look at it like, hey, what are we going to do once we've got a guy who's proven here that he can carry this team to another division title? I mean, which one's more likely? Well, coming off a 4-win season, it's probably more likely that they don't make the playoffs this year. But let's give them a chance to prove us wrong and at least take a significant step in the right direction. Today, the Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day has absolutely nothing to do with Trevor Lawrence, really. I guess it does to some small degree here, Tone, as we're taking a look at 4 guys today who are in the last year of their deals with the Jags, and for different circumstances. You got Travis Etienne on the 5th-year option. You got Devin Lloyd not having his 5th-year option picked up. You have De'Ami Brown, who was only signed for 1 year, and then you have Emmanuel Ogbah, who's also signed for 1 year and brought in as a kind of a finishing piece when they saw the way the draft played out. So today, your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day, asking you about that quartet of players specifically. Which one of Brown, Etienne, Lloyd, or Ogbah do you have the most confidence in to have the best season in 2025? And best is relative, right? Yeah. I mean, that doesn't mean you have to go to the Pro Bowl. Stats are stats, and they certainly factor into it. But cast your vote for De'Ami Brown, Travis Etienne, Devin Lloyd, Emmanuel Ogbah, whoever you think you have the most confidence in to have the best season in 2025. And if you want to talk about it with us, you're welcome to. 641-1010. On the Checkmate Coatings phone lines, also for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. YouTube virtual studio chat is wide open. I know you had McManis in a few days last week, Tone. I caught some of that when I was driving around in between my buckets of range balls.
And Shipley came in with me last Thursday.
Heard that. I've heard part of that as well. And Tommy Mack is out at practice right now. He'll check in with us just in about an hour, and we'll just get a little 10-minute recap. We'll see if the intensity of practice picked up. There's a lot of special team stuff, not a whole lot going on, but it's Monday, and it's just, I saw very little of what's going on today. And Liam Cohen will speak at 11 o'clock, so we'll try to turn some of that audio around and give you some of the thoughts of the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach as OTA practices continue this week. Happy June, everybody. Rabbit. Probably a little late on that one, but we are ready to roll. So McManis at 11:15. We'll hear from Liam Cohen after that before we close out the show today, and we'll discuss which of these 4 Jags with only 1 year left on their deals will have the most, or do you have the most confidence in to have the best season, and which one do we have ourselves the most confidence in to have the best year in 2025? Is it Travis Etienne, Emmanuel Ogbah, Devin Lloyd, or De'Ami Brown? You're listening to Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. Hit us up in all the many ways you want to and be a part of it. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. where electrifying moments come to life
Inside of a minute to play.
and legendary performances live.
A monumental milestone in a legendary career.
1010XL, the power of Jacksonville Sports Radio.
You tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. Don't miss Renewal by Anderson's 30th anniversary sale. Buy one window or patio door and get one 30% off. Financing options are available and this offer expires June 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613. Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Dreamfinders Homes Monday.
Jaguars Today.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home this week at the newly renovated VyStar Ballpark. Tomorrow is Canines and Crustaceans Dog Day presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital, followed by Wear It Home Wednesday t-shirt giveaway. Then it's Pride Night presented by VyStar and River City Pride on Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. Don't miss fireworks Friday and Saturday. Baseball all weekend. Tickets start at just $5. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable family fun.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal. Pretty nice weather we're having, huh?
You think this is nice?
I mean, it's sunny, warm. We do live in Florida.
It's not all upside, Jason. Warm weather comes, so all the cool people hit the beach. My old air conditioner craps out, so it's 1,000 degrees inside, and I'm stuck on a video call in my underpants trying not to sweat through my...
Wait. Put these sunglasses on.
I'm not going to put on your... Whoa.
The air conditioning experts at Bueller Air and Plumbing can keep your home office cool and comfortable all summer long. You look good in your meeting, impress the big guy with your cool confidence, maybe finally make assistant deputy regional manager.
Wow, air conditioning can do that?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend all summer worried the weather is going to be too nice, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Brendan here with Checkmate Coating. No massive overhead means top prices on top quality pool decks, driveways, garages, and patios too.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Listening that fits your schedule perfectly.
Absolutely brilliant.
Go on demand.
Ad-free shows after the live show's end.
How about that? Channel 5.
Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
When was the first cruise ship voyage?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The first cruise voyage was on the Princess and Victoria Louise, which set sail on her maiden voyage in January of 1901.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. I'm here to share that the Gator Bowl is actually a year-round organization. We're known for the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl football game, which has been a Jacksonville staple for more than 80 years. Off the football field, the Gator Bowl has also hosted the annual Florida State baseball game, a champion of local youth through Gator Bowl charities, and a strong networking organization of local individuals and companies through our membership. We're actually looking to grow membership, which is an affordable, fun way for you to get involved and give back to our community. To learn more, visit gatorbowl.com for more information.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
And that is funny right here. In some ways. So where were you talking about? You're listening to some Skinner. You went down the Skinner rabbit hole.
I was on the YouTube algorithm Friday night.
Okay.
So I just put on Freebird when he was live in concert.
Yeah.
And then
when they were live in concert.
Yeah. And
so twice Dylan this morning has referred to Leonard Skinner as he, and we're not referencing Forest High's old gym teacher.
Yeah.
So, but nonetheless, you went down the rabbit hole. They got a lot of
it
hits.
just kind of like I didn't even touch it. It just kept playing another song.
Like I'll be honest with you. Once upon a time, I asked Hacker, like who some of his favorite bands were. Right, and he said he loved Van Halen. I asked him to name his favorite Van Halen album.
Give us one.
Greatest Hits Volumes 1 and 2. And we're like,
that's
all right.
hysterical.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, I couldn't name a Skinner album other than Golden Platinum, which is like their greatest hit. So I'm just as guilty of that kind of stuff. But Golden Platinum, man, there ain't a sleeper on that thing.
Yeah, it's not like that no more. A lot of it is singles, and then they'll put the singles on the album, or you just search a song on your phone, so you really don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm more likely searching a song on my phone means I'm going down the YouTube rabbit hole. I don't do the Spotify. I don't do any music services. Never have.
Yeah,
that's fine if you do. I'm just saying I don't. So,
yeah, it's like I have Napster in my car, like mobile Napster now. With Spotify essentially. I haven't
heard Napster in a while.
Right, but Napster was that thing. It was like I can download all the music I want essentially for free, but I would have to download it. And Spotify is the same people who did Napster. It's the same people. They just have a new company doing it in a different way now. So, yes, I very much do use Spotify.
All right. Well, good. There you go. We're all caught up on our streaming habits. So I mentioned Brandon had sent me this text, and Brandon's good enough to call in. And one of the reasons, and I appreciate him doing that, one of the reasons why I didn't reply to his tweet is because there's a lot of, I'm lazy. There's that. And that's number one on the list. But there's a lot of nuance and parts to the discussion about Trevor Lawrence that I don't think you can sum up in a couple of tweets on this. So I wanted to address it today, and Brandon wanted to weigh in himself, checking in from Ponte Vedra this morning on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Brandon, good morning. How are you?
Morning, you guys. How you doing?
Excellent. Good. What's on your mind?
Funny enough, you played Leonard Skinner. That's actually my grandpa played in that band.
Oh, did he? Who's your grandpa?
Yeah, funny enough.
Who's your grandpa?
His name was Bob Burns. He was the drummer.
Okay. Well, how about that?
But I was calling because I believe in Trevor. I love Trevor. I think he'll have a bounce back year. I do not want to put these bad vibes on Trevor. He's a dude. I'm excited. But I was asking you because I was talking to me on Twitter, and we don't really need to talk about it. No bad vibes, but it's just end of the year comes kind of like Tony was saying, anticipating. If he has another 11 and 7 year with 4 fumbles, you know what I mean? At the end of the year, it's what's going to happen? We're going to keep moving with the guy? I don't think that's going to happen. I was just talking to somebody else on Twitter about it, so I kind of just wanted your opinion.
I appreciate that. I get it, man. I know you're not trying to put the kibosh on him. I mean, you said it right out that you believe in him, but I just don't if it goes. There's a scenario where Trevor is so bad, Tony, that nothing can protect him, contract or otherwise, right? But I don't think that's a high likelihood of that scenario playing out.
No.
So why focus on that? Let's just see how it goes. And I think that's probably where you're at, Brandon. I get the discussion and the mental exercise of it, but man, it's so hard to know, how much quarterbacks get unfair share of the credit and the blame generally. So I got to see it with my own eyes, whether it's 6-11 or 10-7. You could be 10-7 and question your quarterback and feel like you should have been, 13-4 if you had better play there. So I guess that was my point. It's just let's let it play out, and there'll be plenty of time to beat it into the ground if it does go south.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I don't like when there's several people out there that act like he has done nothing wrong and he is perfect. I love the guy. He has his faults. He's going to improve this year. We're going to get better. Like I said, I appreciate some of my comments off the air, but real quick,
all right, Brandon, good way to get the week started. Appreciate you, brother. Look, Tone, I think we've recognized this for a while. There are Trevor extremists on both sides. That there are some that it's all Urban Meyer's fault, or all Doug Peterson's fault, or it's Press Taylor's fault, or it's drop passes' fault, or it's the offensive line. And it's never or rarely Trevor's fault. On the other end of the spectrum, all that, if you're a superstar, you overcome all that. Doesn't matter, and it's all the quarterback's fault. The answer, as it generally is in life, is somewhere in between.
Yeah.
And so try to avoid the extremes if you possibly can, and let's just see how it all goes. First year for everybody in this offense. That doesn't look. It was the first year for Baker Mayfield in the Liam Cohen offense, and he set career highs across the board. So I'm not saying it's an excuse, but that maybe Trevor's going to surprise even the doubters. Maybe he'll have that 35-10 season this year, touchdown to interception ratio.
Sure, I certainly think he's capable.
Absolutely.
Of having that kind of season, and we'll see what winds up happening with him. It is. I can understand anyone who is very much camped in the we'll see, and they're more on the negative end of it. Fine. The Trevor Lawrence discussion for a while now has been a discussion where you're not going to change anyone's mind. No piece of information is going to be shown to somebody and they go, oh, I understand why I should change how I feel about this. No one is in that camp right now. Not
at this time of the year.
Right. You feel about him the way you feel about him, and that's fine. Right? And the people who don't feel the way you feel, that's fine too.
And if you're in the extreme, as long as you're open to having evidence change,
if he plays well, then join the people that are more positive.
You know what?
About
maybe
it.
I was too down on him. Or if he doesn't and he continues to make some of the same mistakes that he's made in the past,
it'll be a lot more people saying,
you know what?
Let's go.
Or maybe I'm not ready to toss him out, but we're going to be a little bit more critical going forward. By the way, I didn't know a whole lot about Bob Burns, okay? But I looked him up, and I imagine you might have as well, right? Sure. As Brandon mentioned him, drummer for Leonard Skinner, born in Gainesville, and passed away in 2015 where? Cartersville, Georgia. Full circle. Full circle on the conversation right there with the whole thing. So, Brandon, thank you very much.
Might have watched Trevor Lawrence play high school football.
It might have.
There's
right.
a chance.
I mean, there's some Cartersville connection there going on. I don't know, man. I'm just trying. I'm reaching, Tone. I've been off for a week. I don't have my sea legs back yet. So we do have Eric Armstead coming up as well on the Ozone podcast. The continuing spotlight that gets shined on the previous dysfunction of the Jaguars organization is an ugly one. Now, you're also, if you're Eric Armstead, going to cast yourself in the best possible light when you're being asked about this whole D-tackle versus DN situation that cropped up last year. We were excited when we got it, Tony. We thought we're going to get some push up the middle. This is what he's been, and it's going to help the edge guys that way. Not that he's going to be a rotational edge guy himself when he's never been that. And according to him, that wasn't his desire. You know what? Maybe spot on. I mean, he's not the only one. We heard Jarian Jones talk about going to the staff and saying, I'd like to utilize my skills, at least being given the opportunity to compete in a different area as an outside corner. And no, we got you right where we like you. Right now has been the thought process. So let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll hear from Eric Armstead, just a snippet of his conversation with John Oehser, get into that, as well as today's Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day. Of these 4 Jaguars with only 1 year left on their deals, Which one do you have the most confidence in to have the best season in 2025? De'Ami Brown, Travis Etienne, Devin Lloyd, Emmanuel Ogbah are your choices today, so you can vote accordingly. By the way, at MD_1010XL. Don't forget at 1010XL Fat Tony and at 1010XL Denmark.
Y'all ain't that good in New York.
Man, enough with you, Denmark.
Come on, man. Y'all overrated.
This guy. All right, we'll come back. Let's hear from Eric Armstead. Is he a diamond in the rough? Maybe ready to get it back to the way he was performing in San Francisco as he's slotted to move back inside on a full-time basis in 2025. We'll discuss that and more coming up on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Okay, I ain't gonna say anything bad about the street meat.
What is it that this town really does well?
1010XL. Jacksonville's football station. Jaguars Today for the renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
A chipped windshield can turn into a big problem fast. Lauren Brooks here. Trust Novus Glass of Jacksonville for expert repair and replacement. Call 904-289-2905 for Novus Glass in Orange Park. 904-289-2905.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
It's a Dreamfinders Homes Monday.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Hacker here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. You know, being in the maintenance program now with Awaken 180 Weight Loss has been great. After losing well over 100 pounds, I still meet with my coach now once a month, get the guidance that I need so the weight doesn't come back on. Losing the weight was fantastic, but honestly, keeping the weight off has been as rewarding. It is phenomenal. Awaken 180 has absolutely changed my life. In fact, I'm going on a cruise next week. I'm even going to do formal night to take some of those photos. I would have never done that 100 pounds ago. With Awaken 180 Weight Loss, now I'm not afraid of the camera anymore. Again, absolutely life-changing. If it's time for you to make that change like it was for me, go to Awaken180weightloss.com. That's Awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Friends, we have a very special guest on the line.
The Checkmate Coatings phone line is where the action happens.
Where's the phone? Over there.
Get expert interviews and listener opinions all day, every day, from the drill all the way to Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Where does Northeast Florida buy cars? Arlington Toyota. Mia here, and why Arlington? Selection. Arlington has over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location with everyday low prices. Plus right now, save big with zero down and just $288 per month for a pre-owned 2023 Toyota Corolla. Or how about no payments till January 2026 and 60-day exchange. Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Are you ready to play this summer? At the First Coast YMCA, we're committed to being your home for health and wellness and a place for friendly competition with team sports for adults and for kids. Basketball, volleyball, pickleball, flag football, soccer. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Discover all the benefits of YMCA membership and find your fun this summer at the Y. Registration for team sports and summer camps is open now. Visit fcymca.org.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too. No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. ET here with Tintin XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to, and it should be yours, too. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Right out of the gates, Tony. First day back. Mea culpa on Robert E. Lee High School instead of Forest. I think... Is it Deckerhoff? Did Deckerhoff go to Forest High School? Man, I'm too lazy to even look it up on the break. That's what a producer's for, you know, from what I understand anyway. And so, mea culpa, I throw myself on the mercy of the Leonard Skinner court. Of course, I did admit the only album I know of by them is Golden Platinum, which is the greatest hits collection. So, regardless, we'll claim them either way, whatever high school they attended. So, didn't mean to disparage gym teachers across Prairie Duval County.
Yep, Deckerhoff did go to Forest.
He did. Okay, maybe I don't know why I have why where did Leonard Skinner go to high school? Oh, wherever Gene Deckerhoff went. I don't know why I make that connection, but
yeah, there's more than one school on the west side, Mike.
Yeah, apparently so.
I find that offensive.
None of these guys went to Baldwin, though. You're telling me?
No.
Gene Deckerhoff played basketball at Forest High School. Also participated in debate, where he won a state championship.
How about that? He's a talker.
Yeah.
You know, so there you go. Debate's got too many rules. You know, you know what I mean? Like formal debate stuff. There's a lot of stuff to go. Anyway, good for you, Gene.
It is more a sport at a certain level. Yeah.
And good for you, Lee and Forest High Schools. What are they called now? Like, are they?
Forest is West Side, and Robert E. Lee is Riverside.
Riverside. All right. So there you have it. All right. How about Eric Armstead? There's a palate cleanser for you. Good transition. Big shift. Went on the Ozone podcast. Check that out at Jaguars.com. Good friends of ours over there. And Tony, I mean, it should be a simple thing, right? There should be one message coming from an organization. It should be the truth generally. Like, I get it. There are times leading into the draft when you want to obscure your intention.
Sure.
Right. That's I almost feel like there's a way to do it. You just don't comment. But I almost feel like if coaches want to directly lie during the month leading up to the draft, I'd accept it.
And Armstead's in kind of a odd situation where even if this is the first time publicly he's been asked and spoken directly, right, to this situation, that there's been so much said on both sides now that no matter what anybody says at this point, somebody's going to react like, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Right? Like and it doesn't matter what you say at this point. There's going to be a group of people who are just like, I don't believe it. I feel this way about it. This is what happened. But we actually heard it from Armstead this time.
Right. And look, we got it when, go back to the whole period of time when free agency was happening. Okay, Jags came out. This is last year, right? They signed like Gabe Davis, right out of the gates. Mitch Morse, they got an agreement with. They're still working on Calvin Ridley. And they thought they were going to get it done. And then started to hear whispers that a team in the division was going to put this big offer. And they gave him outrageous money in Tennessee. And I'm fine with the Jags saying enough, there's a limit to what we want to do. Because again, think back, had they signed Calvin Ridley, maybe their priorities changed in the first round of the draft. Maybe they're looking for that pass rusher.
I can remember we were out at the Players when all that was going on.
Yeah.
We were out there that day when the Armstead thing happened. We were pumped.
Right. So we're like, all right, well, they shifted this money. Now we're going to get a guy who can be a penetrating interior presence on the defensive line. And, all the while, the offseason would go by. We're like, where's that other edge? Where's that other edge? Where's that other edge? And I still, we'll hear what he had to say, but it's still somewhat confusing to me how this is ever anything but clear. But that's the environment that the Jaguars fostered. Doug Peterson has some responsibility in this. Hey, Doug, who's calling plays? I'm not going to tell you. Why can't you just answer a freaking simple question? If you're confident that you've made the right decision, right? Why do you have to make this so obscure and just hard to divine what's going on?
Because you wouldn't understand it if he explained it anyway.
I guess, right? There's that, and it makes you feel like, he protecting Press Taylor. Get it? Press Taylor's on the Chicago staff now. He's on the staff. Like most guys who are on the staff, you don't care about. You care about coordinator level and higher in general, right? Unless they're doing an exceptional
job. It's not that
job.
they're not working. You're just not paying attention.
You don't really, you're right. And you're like, oh, well, how much is this influence anyway? Especially like Press Taylor. He's an offensive coordinator and an offensive-minded coach. We say the same thing with Grant Udinski. What is Udinski's impact going to be when you're down out play caller is going to be Liam Cohen?
Right.
And
it's not that I don't think he's working every day. He is.
Absolutely.
Right. I'm just not paying all that much attention to what he's doing.
Is he having input in how they build the offense? I'm sure he is. But is he building the offense? Well, in many ways, it's an offense that's coming along with the head coach. Anyway, getting sidetracked here. Eric Armstead on the Ozone podcast, available at Jaguars.com, which came out, I think, yesterday, right? And this is a condensed version of his answer on why he ended up playing outside as opposed to defensive tackle more last year.
It was by surprise to me when I asked, how they wanted me to be utilized, that they wanted me to play defensive end and they wanted me to rush inside on third down, but primarily play defensive end. And it was a little bit of a surprise to me knowing that, I played D tackle, for the past few years and have been pretty successful. But they wanted a big body at defensive end, a guy who could rotate with Trayvon and Josh. And, when they presented the plan to me, I was like, okay, let's do it. If that's, the best plan that you guys see fit.
Right.
And then shortly into the season, when we were in London, I went to them and I said, I don't think this is necessarily working out. I feel like I can have bigger impact on the team if I'm playing more inside, where I'm, a better pass rusher and I'm on the field, with Josh and Trayvon and the rest of the guys. And at that time, looking at the roster, it didn't happen, even though I expressed that that's something that I wanted to do and I thought that would be better for the team. It didn't happen, but when you look at the roster, I don't, that kind of could have went into that, because when you look at the roster,
at that point there weren't a whole
we had
lot
4 defensive ends, so and we had 7 defensive tackles.
Right.
All right, but the Jags also knew that going in. I don't understand how this was not a topic of conversation at the point. And again, this is just more to highlight the dysfunction. I'm glad we're past this period, but Trent Baalke made it seem like this was something that Eric Armstead pursued, and so it became a conversation. Well, if that's the case, is he tired of all the physical play on the interior of the defensive line? He kind of wants a vacation now to move outside. He's saying it's completely different. Like, I've flourished doing this. Why wouldn't you use me at this? Even if it is a numbers game, did you really sign me for this amount of money to play a position I've never played before when I'm probably one of your at least 2 best options on the interior?
Yeah, it is. I'm glad that we don't have to find out the answer to this kind of question, but I would be curious to see how he would answer this exact question if Trent Baalke was still in the building.
Yes.
Right?
Well, I think a lot of that.
Like, I'm glad that we aren't living in that world.
Right.
Right, where he's being asked this, because he would still be being asked this kind of thing whenever he spoke if Balky was still here, but Balky's not here, so it does kind of, it takes whatever limitations you may have off about saying whatever you felt or anything like that about what was going on here last year. And again, I think a lot of people are going to react to any of this kind of thing. I don't know if it's going to change anybody's mind about what happened with Eric Armstead last year and whether you believe him or not with how that whole thing played out. But it feels believable given all the other very similar things we've heard from people inside the building, right? It doesn't seem unbelievable that one of their players would come and say, hey, can I do this? And they say, can you just do what we're asking you to do? Kind of thing. Like, it's not ridiculous to think that that's the kind of conversations that were happening last year inside that building. And the people that were having those conversations are gone. So hopefully any of that kind of lunacy is gone, and he will be a much more established player playing at a position where he had already established himself in the league.
And here, I'm looking back. Here's a story that, I don't know if it was Ship. Let me scroll up here. I'm going to lose the quote here. It was. John Shipley posted this on Jaguar Report last year after Armstead's signing. And some of the comments in there, Shipley writing, this is Ship talking, now Armstead will be placed in the middle of new defense coordinator Ryan Nielsen's defense, giving him a chance to be a core piece of the Jags' pursuit for sustained success. Quoting Armstead, quote, I feel it's tailor-made for the defensive line. Coach Nielsen being a former lineman himself, I could play a multitude of roles in it, from lining up on the edge and playing the run to moving into the inside of the pass rush. So I don't think that it was just like, hey, here's the money, play exactly. I think they probably pitched the vision to him. And what he's saying is, look, the vision's not working. And don't make it that I'm not willing to do the grunt work inside. That's what I've always done. And so, okay, I was willing to give this a try. Maybe it even did seem appealing, like, hey, I'm going to be a big run defender on first and second down. But, I mean, again, you've got your two edge rushers. How many times did we see both Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker off the field at the same time last year? Too many. Yeah, once was too many.
And, you know, he was the guy who signed the 3-year, $43.5 million contract. So it's not small money.
No.
You know, they paid to go get Eric Armstead. So at some point, if you had a plan for this is what we thought it was going to be, and the player comes and says this isn't working, like, it's pretty obvious to everyone this isn't working. Can we try something else here? And they don't really pivot to something else for him. And I thought it was interesting, too, because I did listen to the whole half hour with him with Ozier yesterday on the Ozone podcast. And I thought it was interesting listening to Armstead talk about it was the first time in his career that he hadn't just been the starter, right? Like, he hadn't just been one of the guys that was on the field and you had to have somebody come in to give him a breather. It was the first time in his career he was the guy giving somebody a breather. And he talked about, you know, his level of respect for guys that are being put in that situation everywhere is like just went through the roof. It's like, it's such a tough job to be the guy that's just trying to give somebody 3-4 reps so that they can get their wheels back underneath them, right? Like, it's such a different kind of job, but it's also, it felt like he was saying, that's not me. I'm a starter, right? Like, I need to be on the field. That's the way he felt about it. And if you paid him what they paid him, when he comes and says,
thing, right,
this isn't working, then adjust it.
Well, why pay him that if you're going to use him that way? Right. When there are so many guys that you could have signed for $5 million on a 1-year deal if you're just looking for a rotational edge player.
Right.
Even if you're looking for a guy like Clowney is his reputation is better run defender than pass rusher.
Sure.
Right. Now, occasionally he'll have that 8-9 sack season, but that guy was available there. So if you wanted to go the Kyle Van Noy route, he was out there for a long time. He got snatched up, had another good year. That's what he does. He comes off the bench and he provides pass rush. If that's what you wanted, that was available. Yeah. If you wanted a rotational run-stuffing defensive end, you shouldn't be paying him the contract. And now, Eric Armstead, we were, again, excited when they signed him because we thought we were getting a full-time defensive tackle at the spot. So, different story. By the way, I don't know if you saw PFF's roster or lineup projections that they've done for every NFL team. By the way, they rate the Jaguars, I guess, starting rosters 25th overall, whatever. That doesn't matter. win games, and that'll be your power rankings. But they go through the whole thing, and they have biggest strengths and weaknesses and whatnot. A little bit of cheating on it because they list 5 starting defensive linemen. When you know there's not 5 starting defensive linemen on this team, and you can imagine who they are. But what they do is they list D linemen, Devon Hamilton and Mason Smith, just as D linemen. Then they list 3 edges: Josh Hines, Allen, Trayvon Walker, Eric Armstead. And Eric Armstead, by the way, according to their grading system, graded out just fractionally better than Trayvon Walker did last year. I mean, anybody think that Eric Armstead had a better impact on this team than Trayvon Walker last year? It's kind of weird, right? But they end up listing 5 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 guys in the secondary. I'll allow you the 5 guys in the secondary, but I guess it's probably too hard to figure out who that 11th guy is, like who that 11th line or that 3rd linebacker will be right now. So they're just, but at the same time, on offense, they list 12 guys. They list Etienne and Bigsby both as starting running backs, along with 3 starting receivers and a tight end, of course, and your quarterback. And you can't play that many skill position guys. So it's like, what are we exactly projecting here, right? Yeah. Here are the candidates that to be starters, but I would presume Eric Armstead beats out Mason Smith to start because you do rotate those guys a lot, and that is the guy that has a lot of film in the NFL. And if he's playing inside and he's playing back up to his San Francisco standard or something approaching that, I mean, that is one way maybe you improve the interior of this defensive line because they haven't done it by adding bodies this offseason.
No, they didn't add anything there. It was kind of the impetus for the question of the day that we asked on Friday, which was just how many players do you think finished with 5 or more sacks for the football team? The 3 is the category that wound up winning it.
That's what I voted for.
You voted 3?
I did.
I voted 2.
Okay. I think they'll get a guy with 5.
I think likely if there is a guy that gets the 5, it's probably Mason in my head.
I think it might be Ogba.
But Ogba would be tough. I just don't know if he's going to get the snaps he would need to get there. It's more where I just think it's going to be limited on the opportunities that he's going to get.
I don't know. I think he might, is he going to have less opportunities that Arden Key had a few years back? I don't know if he will.
I don't know. Yeah. What was Arden Key's snap count a few years ago?
I'm not sure. But, I mean, and Ogba's done it both starting and coming off the bench.
Yes.
He's kind of that guy. And I could absolutely see, if they really do finally lean into the versatility of Trayvon Walker here with the defensive staff in Jacksonville, then maybe you do see him lining up on the interior in some pass rush situations. But, yeah, if I had to bet, I'd go with Ogba over Mason Smith. But I definitely think I would vote for a 3rd guy. I can't say I definitely think that.
Yeah, Arden Key got 4.5 sacks on 41% of the defensive snaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see 41% being in the wheelhouse.
That's about right.
For Ogba, So I will be positive and go with 5. Well, in part because if you think the offense is going to be better, you have more second half leads. You have more teams passing on you in the second half, and maybe you're in that position where teams are chasing you occasionally in the fourth quarter, and you get those cliched pin your ears back situations.
Haven't done that in about a year and a half.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, all right, we'll come back. Tony will take us around the league, and then let's get in today's Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day, which asks you which of these 4 Jags who are not under contract beyond this season will have the best year. Who do you have the confidence in to have the best season in 25? Is it De'Ami Brown, Travis Etienne, Devin Lloyd, or Emmanuel Ogba? You can cast your vote on Twitter at MD_1010XL. Halfway home, you're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. At 1010XL. This is 1010XL.
Go Gators. Go Gators. Go Gators.
Your Gator Nation radio station. Go Gators.
June is Men's Health Month, and here's your reminder to be proactive and get screened for early detection at Ackerman Cancer Center. Many cancer instances are largely preventable and treatable. So take steps now to minimize your risk factors at AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Got a leaky faucet? AC blowing hot air? A funky smelling septic tank? No worries, Duck Duck Rooter has your back. We're your one-stop shop for plumbing, septic, and air conditioning, so you can stop juggling 3 companies and just make one easy call. Our expert techs are fast, friendly, and really know their ducks. I mean stuff. Call 904-862-6769 or visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, plumbing, septic, AC, and a whole lot of quacking good service.
Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacks Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacks Beach or visit apexroofingfl.com.
Jaguars Today.
It's a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Frank Frangie here. I was talking to a buddy the other day. His HOA told him his old fence had to go. I said, man, call Coyle Fencing. They've been around the block since 1927. Heck, they probably built half the fences in Jacksonville. They do it all. Tough chain link for security. Those fancy aluminum ones the HOA actually likes. Nearly a century of keeping yards safe and looking good. If you need a fence, call Coyle. You can trust the folks at Coyle. 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. COYLE Jacks.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Baseball is back. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball at the newly renovated Vistar Ballpark is your home for affordable family fun. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game and kids round the bases after Sunday games. Log on to jackshrimp.com for tickets and details. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, you talk a lot about a diamond's cut grade. Why is a diamond graded for cut?
Frank, that's simple. We cut grade diamonds to show a measurement of beauty and light return to the person looking at the diamond so they can understand the value difference between a diamond cut for maximum beauty and one cut for maximum weight. Now, it gets a little more complicated when you find out that the American Gem Society Laboratory actually assigns performance grades and proportion grades using patented computer software and grades for polish and symmetry using a microscope. The end result of cut grading is a final grade that can go from a 0 or ideal to a 10, which is poor. Each of these grades are priced a little differently. That's why you can see a diamond with a fine color and clarity priced low, particularly on the internet, because a trained gemologist won't buy it for resale because of the poor cut. Unfortunately, these type deals aren't good deals. They're bad deals for the unknowing customer.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Hello, all you Jacksonville sports fans. Don here from Taco Lou. If you're in the mood for some great tacos, cold Dos Equis, maybe even a sip of some fine tequila, then the Lou is calling your name. Come out to Jack's Beach and experience what many have dubbed the #1 taco in the 904. There are plenty of great taco joints in town, and we're proud to have been around for this long, and we have only you, the fine people of Jacksonville, to thank for helping us grow and become who we are today. Cheers to you, Jacksonville, and thank you from the Lou crew. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
This is your local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Baker Glass. Florida men's baseball season came to an end due to an 11-4 loss at the hands of East Carolina over the weekend. The Gators' streak of never winning a regional title after losing its first game remains intact. Number 9 seeded Florida State baseball team rallied with 2 runs in the 7th and 3 in the 8th to beat Mississippi State 5-2 and win the Tallahassee Regional to advance to the Super Regional on a memorable Sunday night with a dramatic comeback win. The Seminoles advanced to their 19th Super Regional, which is most all time. NBA mock drafts continue to be released by league experts. According to Sports Illustrated, they project Florida guard Walter Clayton Jr. being selected 29th by the Phoenix Suns. Right now, 86 degrees at 10:56. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, everything you need to know about the Jags includes they're done with practice for this morning. Josh Hines Allen speaking with the media down at the Miller Electric Center. We'll probably get you some of that audio tomorrow, is my guess, but you'll hear from him throughout the day and whatever interviews our 1010XL cohorts come back with after practice. Liam Cohen expected to speak in a couple of minutes, so we'll hopefully have some of that before we get out of here. What's that, Dylan? What do you got?
Speaking right now.
He's speaking right now. How about that? So I'm sure we'll have something. Tom McManis is going to join us. He was out at practice. That's coming up in about 15 minutes or so. But not only the Jags, Tony, we take a look at the entire National Football League when it's appropriate. Let's do it right now.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Not a whole lot out there, but San Francisco and Philadelphia are expected to finalize a trade this week that will be sending edge rusher Bryce Huff to the 49ers for an as-of-yet undisclosed mid-round draft pick. And Pittsburgh and Miami still are having ongoing trade negotiations around tight end Jonnu Smith, who apparently asked to get his deal reworked in Miami, but that doesn't appear to be happening, so it looks like there's at least a chance that he'll be moved there from Miami to Pittsburgh.
Look, social media is often gloom and doom, right? But if you follow Miami Dolphins social media and like the fan base, that people think that McDaniel's gonna be out of there mid-season. Like they think this is like almost like a quiet sell-off. Like they're shopping Ramsey. They may still deal Tyreek Hill, Jonnu Smith. We're not going to give him a new contract. And I get it. Jonnu's not a spring chicken, but he had super productive year last year, especially when he had injuries in that wide receiver core. Then they're dealing with an injury with Tyreek Hill the whole season. Did you guys I assume you got into the Stephon Diggs boating incident a little bit last week?
Not too much. Like it got mentioned, but we didn't dig into it.
I mean, look, it's funny. The lesson I take away from this, and if you're not aware, Stephon Diggs is down in South Florida. I guess he's dating Cardi B now. Dylan, can you confirm?
That's correct.
All right. Good for him, I guess, and I hope they're happy.
Whatever,
right?
Who cares? Yeah.
But he's on a boat with some young ladies. I think they needed a beverage because they definitely look thirsty. But regardless, he's flashing some baggie of pink something or other.
Pop Rocks.
On there. Pop Rocks. Is that what he's claiming?
Yeah, it was candy. It was Pop Rocks.
Okay.
It wasn't a substance.
I didn't know they had Pop Rocks in the clear cellophane little baggies like that they served them up late. And maybe
protective of the candy. Don't eat all this.
Or maybe he just repackaged himself so he doesn't overindulge.
Maybe.
But either way, when they signed Stephon Diggs, coming off the injury, the rep on Stephon Diggs is quickly wears out his welcome now around the National Football League. He's a pain in the butt, basically, to deal with in many ways.
Diva among divas.
Diva among divas, right? And a good player, no doubt about it. But we're like, man, they're going to give him how much money? Coming off a torn ACL? And where's this team really going? They're a top 5 team. Now, you could say the same about the Jags. Everyone wants to go out there and sign guys and get better and all that. And if the Jags had signed him, we'd be somehow coping and trying to figure out why that's a good move for Jacksonville, right? Mm-hmm. But when you look at the contract breakdown, there's almost nothing that he get. There's a question whether he's gotten a penny from them yet. And apparently the way they wrote it is it's entirely up to their team doctor in New England as to whether or not he is football fit, whether he is ready to execute the contract and everything required of him at the wide receiver position. And it's solely up to that guy. He can get 50-second opinions, and it's contractually written in that the only opinion that matters is the team doctor. Well, You think they couldn't get the team doctor to fail him on a physical right now? Because I imagine he can't pass a physical. I don't think Stephon Diggs is ready to play today. So you can release him with that failed physical designation at any point. Scott Zolak, who's been on this network plenty, he's a broadcaster, covers the Patriots, thinks they should keep him, but thinks releasing him is absolutely in play for them. And it makes more sense if, in fact, they haven't really paid out anything, or maybe the most they've paid out is $4 million. Wouldn't you like that? Like, you know what, Tony? We signed you for $4 million. It's not going to work out here. We discovered after a couple of months,
right?
And but you keep the $4 million and be on your merry way.
You earned it.
Like, right? You earned it. How exactly?
Because of who you were before you got here.
I guess.
The
Right.
reputation of the kind of player that you were going to be, and it does kind of make sense from a Patriots standpoint that with a head coach of the style of Mike Vrabel, that if they were to move on, you could talk about in the locker room, discipline, like that kind of thing, guys that are my kind of guy, the Patriots way, those kind of thing. You could sell it that way, and if you keep them, it's, well, we need help at wide receiver. Why wouldn't we keep him? Right?
I think if they sell it,
kind of like a half, you don't really lose either way. Kind of
I think this is going to be one of those like the Baltimore Ravens with Justin Tucker. They made it very clear. This is a football decision, Tony. How can it be a football decision when you haven't seen him kick this? Well, it's a football decision because we say it's a football decision because if we say anything else, like this is punitive for off-field behavior, then it opens up a whole can of worms with the CBA potentially. Right. So I think it looks like they may have protected himself with that deal. But could you imagine right now if you're looking at, Stephon Diggs could be your number one wide receiver this year if he's healthy enough. He could be a role player, or he could not even be on your team.
Right.
And you just don't have a clue. Today's Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day involves a receiver. Which of these 4 Jaguars with only 1 year left on their deals do you have the most confidence in to have the best season in 2025? Is it De'Ami Brown, Travis Etienne, Devin Lloyd, and Emmanuel Ogbah? Listed that way, alphabetically by last name. That is actually how the voting is going right now. Dylan, why don't we hit today's 10-10 take and get into some of the particulars of this?
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
How confident can you be in a guy who's never put up numbers in the National Football League?
Right.
Apparently, 35% of the people out there think that you can be more confident in that guy than a lot of guys who have a lot more work under their belt, a lot more productivity. I'm talking about De'Ami Brown, who's pulling 35% of this. Here's the thing, Tone. I actually thought I was going to be in the minority today when I was formulating this question. And the question is, who do you have the most confidence in to have the best season in 2025? I really struggled with what to ask here. Did I want to say who's going to play themselves into best position to return next year? And it's difficult because they've already signaled, like with Devin Lloyd, we're not picking up the 5th-year option. Right. They drafted 2 running backs. So that's not necessarily the same. You can have a good year, and the Jags may still move on from you based on positional value and scarcity and all this stuff. But here's why I have the most confidence out of these guys in De'Ami Brown, because to me, the Jags have expressed the most confidence in De'Ami Brown because money talks. They didn't sign him to a 1-year, $5 million deal. They signed him to a 1-year, $10 million deal. Right? And they signed him pretty early in the process before they knew they were going to end up with Travis Hunter. Have done nothing but rave about him. From my own eyes, out on the practice field. Now, granted, these are OTAs. I'm not saying take this as gospel that this will carry into the season, but it's all we have to go on right now. It seems like Trevor has a pretty good growing chemistry already with De'Ami Brown from what I've seen. Like he targets him a lot. He has made a lot of successful plays. He's been a good route runner from what my own observations are. But they did signal that, hey, I don't know what's going to happen with Travis Etienne. Maybe he'll be on the team. Maybe he won't be on the team this year. We've talked about that. But if he is he the future? And I think they're hedging against that significantly with 2 draft picks that got spent on that position. Devin Lloyd, if you think he's part of the future, you pick up the 5th-year option. Now, I get it. Linebacker rolls in those outside linebackers in 3-4 who are really pass rushers, and it bumps that money up. But there's no commitment to Devin Lloyd beyond this year. Did the Jags draft any linebackers? Yes, right? So could you see them moving on? Absolutely. In their head. Emmanuel Ogbah was like their fail-safe. Okay, hey, Emmanuel, we're interested. I feel like that girl with the, what is it, with the bird who's named Emmanuel. You know that one? Is it oh, you know the one. Come on. You know the one. Emmanuel. Stop. And he's like, she's the farm girl. Yeah. Anyway. So Ogbah, hey, we don't want to sign a vet who's going to take reps away from our young guys if we draft some young guys. Well, they didn't draft young guys at the position. And immediately, the day after the draft, not even 24 hours went by and they had Ogbah under contract, but a 1-year, $5 million deal to come off the bench. I think the contract, $10 million is not breaking the bank in today's NFL, but it's more than De'Ami Brown seemingly has earned so far. I think that's a signal that they didn't want to mess around. We're going to give you the opportunity and come in here and play significant reps for this football team. We think you can do it. And we got to know today. Like, it's 1 year, $10 million. If you want to shop that, we may move on. That's the sense I got, that they put that offer on the table because they wanted to close the deal. I know they're not going beyond this year, but this is a guy coming into a situation where Travis Hunter is going to be splitting his time, and maybe he's at best the third wide receiver at any given time for this football team. You're going to play a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. And confidence is a weird word to use here.
Right.
When he doesn't have the productivity to back it up. But that's who I would vote for.
Sure. I think it's one of these situations where I think the role that 2 of the 4 players on that list is going to have is very clear, right? I think it's pretty clear that De'Ami Brown's going to be the 3rd wide receiver for the football team and that Emmanuel Ogbah's going to be the 3rd pass rusher, right? He's going to be the 3rd edge guy for the football team. And you can have the discussions about what is a good season, right, for either of those guys and what that would qualify as best and your level of confidence in them reaching that kind of thing. Devin Lloyd, I was just looking a little bit at the numbers. The 5th-year option basically would have been $15 million. The franchise tag at outside linebacker, because the outside linebackers are in it, are $25. And next year it's supposed to be $28, right? So they'd be getting $13 million basically off of that for the 5th-year option, and they said it's not even worth that for them to pay that kind of linebacker.
If Devin Lloyd has a year comparable to what he's done so far in his career, do you think he gets $15 million plus a year in free agency? Because I don't.
Probably not.
Right, so I think that's probably what they're looking at and saying, that's probably going to end up being an overpay. They don't value
that position at that kind of money.
Or at least they don't value him at that position.
And, I talked with Shipley about that a lot last Thursday when he came in with me, and he talked about where they value safety and linebacker, right? And so he's not surprised at the way that they were not willing to pay Devin Lloyd that kind of money. So his position even this year, I think, is a little bit unclear with the football team. I have no idea what the plan's going to be with ETN. None, right? Whether or not he's even going to be a part of it. Ultimately, when everything is said and done, it's so wide open with the results for him. And I think there is something we are at a point in the offseason where De'Ami Brown's going to be the only one of these 4 players that you even hear their name, right, out at practice. He's the only one that's making any plays among these 4 guys out at practice to this point. So there is some of that recency bias that's in it as well. De'Ami's going to make a play or 2 every week. Every time that the practice is open, we see him make a play or 2.
Right.
We don't see the other guys doing that kind of thing because it's not in the nature of this time of year for Ogbah to be making plays out at practice. Lloyd has an opportunity, but it is a bit different because you're not really hitting this time of year. ETN finally got back on the field, this week? He wasn't out there. So it is a bit of the recency bias is in there as well. But with all that being in, I think my vote would be De'Ami Brown as well because he's the one that I feel the most solidly about what his position is going to be, the opportunities that are going to be there for him. And I think his opportunities will be larger ultimately than Ogbah's opportunities are because he is the 3rd edge guy.
I'm with you. Dylan, who would you vote for in this?
I'd say ETN. I'm not high on Lloyd or De'Ami Brown just because of the production he's had the last couple of years. And Ogbah, I feel like a successful season would be 4.5 sacks. Yeah. And I just think ETN, it's right there for him. He could get production easily the first 12 weeks of the season, and I think he can outperform the other 3 guys.
He could.
He's a starter.
But let me ask you, if Travis Etienne ran for 750 and De'Ami Brown had 750 receiving, who had the better year?
De'Ami Brown.
Probably, right? Because 750, if that's your leading run, it's like that's not a very high total. If your third receiver has 750, then he's probably maxing out on a lot of his opportunities. So it is like to me, if you told me Agba was going to have 5 or 6 sacks, I'd be like, damn, I might vote for Agba, right? I mean, because it's all relative to how many opportunities you get as well. That's a part of it. By the way, Tone, we did see, who was it? I'm guessing it was Jamal St. Cyr. Who had the post about Travis Hunter catching the touchdown?
No, that was him.
It was okay. Jamal just saw him this morning, man. He just mystifies me with how quick he is with those updates. How he can even see out there in the glare sometimes and tweet those updates. But Travis Hunter caught a touchdown with Jarian Jones in coverage. But that's okay. Jarian Jones, Tony, we found out this morning, has made the cover of Madden 26.
Yes, he has.
At least the top of his helmet has. As the cover of Madden 26.
Yeah, we knew when that play happened. That play is never going to die.
It's Saquon Barkley leaping backwards over Jarian Jones.
Well, it's not Jarian Jones. It's a black helmet with a white jersey with no logo.
True.
So we know who it is, but they didn't say who it is.
Right. We know who it is, though. But you're right. Like, why would they take off the logo? I don't understand that. I mean, there's the Eagles logo on Saquon's helmet.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a fully licensed product, right? Why wouldn't you have the logo on there? I guess it's just like doesn't really matter who that is kind of thing. But yeah, again, we all know. So great. Rub it in. That's what happens, man. You know what? We ever win the Super Bowl, we're going to get Madden covers. We're going to be rubbing it in. We're going to be talking so much nonsense. It's going to be insane.
The Jaguars can create their own posters, but that is certainly a poster moment.
Wow.
The Saquon backwards hurdle. That's nuts.
I will say our South American producer, Cristiano, got this to me 6 minutes before Dylan did, though. So just throwing it out
When
there.
he sent it to me, and then I was looking. I was like, okay, yes.
All right, fine. Tom McManis, Jaguar and Jaguars Today legend. Is that fair? Sure. Why not? He'll join us next. He was out at practice for what it was. I don't know. Maybe it picked up in pace because it wasn't much for the first 30 minutes today, but that's often the case at OTA practices, you know. So we'll see what Tom's observations are, and we'll go from there. We'll hear hopefully from Liam Cohen coming up in about 20 minutes or so, as well as he spoke with the media after practice this morning. Jaguars OTAs kicking off a fresh week. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
We do things as a team, gentlemen.
Jacksonville's live and local sports radio.
We cannot be defeated.
1010XL. 10XL. 10XL. 10XL.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracts. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through June 30th. And financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Dreamfinders Homes, Monday.
On Jaguars Today.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked the homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, Hickett here for my friends at Zero Res. Gang, vacuuming is not sufficient to maintain the cleanliness and lifespan of your carpet, period. Do not, let me repeat, do not leave deep cleaning to yourself, but do it yourself, dirt-attracting carpet soaking machines. No, no, no. Call on the cleaning freaks from Zero Res. Big summer savings. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take 20% off air duct cleaning as well. Call them, 904-287-5727, and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
I'm Max Fink, and I'll bring you the Gator Report several times weekly to keep you connected to Gainesville.
The Gator Report, put together by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators! Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Since 1901, generations of skilled union workers have built the backbone of our community. Hospitals, schools, the buildings where you work. Every year, a new apprentice class of Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians is stepping up, trained, driven, and ready to do great things. They're not just building our city, they're building their future. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to become a member or contractor today.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all: garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Hacker here. Y'all know I needed to do something about my weight. When I saw Matt and Mike eating to lose weight, I figured that could probably work for me. And it did. Just look at me now. If you need a weight loss plan that works, visit awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, welcome back to the Tom McManis Show. At least it may have felt that way over the last week or so. We love Tommy Mack around these parts. No doubt. And I knew, Tony, that a collection of our typical Jaguar correspondents that we have come on would probably be interviewing people and whatnot. Tom McManis is a take-in-the-practice guy, listen to a few comments from the head coach and make his own observations, and therefore having time to join us now on the Checkmate Coatings hotline. Tom, thank you for filling in for me last week, and B, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good. I'm doing great. Yeah, no, it was fun. Me and Tony had a good time, and I'm just glad that, the first round of the SEC baseball tournament happened after I was done on Friday. Because, Tony, I know is not happy about the outcome.
No.
Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, just the number one team in the country going down the regional. It's nothing to be disappointed about.
No big deal, Tom. No big deal. Come on. Tom, I was out there early. We did not cross paths this morning. I was out there for the first 30. You were out there for the rest of it, arriving as I departed. Anything catch your eye? What stood out to you, if anything, this morning?
Well, Trevor was really sharp today, which was really cool to see. So they went on the far field, and I walked over. I saw Joe C. in the end zone. So I walked over there the far, had a great shot for about a 45-minute period. They were working on team 11 on 11, middle of the field coming in, 2-minute drill. Trevor was very sharp. And I'll tell you, the O-line and D-line were getting after it. They weren't in pads, so they can only go so much, but they were getting after it pretty good. De'Ami Brown, man, I think last week he said we're going to be tough to defend on all three levels. I absolutely agree. That guy, they did an end around. They did it twice, but they did the first one, and they caught the defense off guard. Nobody's going to catch that guy. Holy cow, is he fast. Made a nice one-handed grab. And the ball was put in the right spot, nice and outside. Nobody else could get it, but he made a nice grab there. Travis Hunter looked good, looked smooth. Brian Thomas Jr. looks like Brian Thomas Jr. But I think for me, at least, and I didn't go into the practice with the intention of watching Trevor so much. But when you're watching that team, I want to see that the quarterback's got time. He's making the throw. He's putting it in the right spot. Because to me, that means everything else is probably working out, at least from an offensive side of things. So overall, really good. I thought it was crisp. I thought they were getting after it pretty good. Overall, a very good day, at least from my perspective.
Tommy, you've had an opportunity to see them a couple of times now, and you mentioned Trevor Lawrence looked good out there at practice today. What are your expectations for Trevor Lawrence going into year 5 now for him?
I'm expecting him to hone it all together starting this year. And what I mean by that, Tony, like he made a throw today. It was a rope. It was a beautiful throw. I mean, it was a hard throw. He threw it on the run, across his body, and gosh, I wish I could remember he threw it. So he put it right on the money near the sideline. And I'm sitting there going, see, those are the throws he'll make, and then he'll miss some routine throws. For whatever reason. So if he can hone that together, which I think he will, I know they're working on his mechanics. I know they're working on some other parts of his game. But if he can hone it all together, I expect a big year out of Trevor Lawrence. Because let's face it, guys, no matter who you have on those rosters, I don't care what team we're talking about, it's up to the quarterback. It's how the team will go as the quarterback goes. And I think we're going to see a good year out of Trevor. I guess my only trepidation at this point is, do we have the offensive line to keep him clean? I don't know that answer yet. I think we got to see as the pads come on, and then we go to work against other people other than our own.
Well, you're right, Tom. We can't make final judgments on anybody, offensive line, Trevor Lawrence, or anybody else for that matter. But in your opinion, and I know you and Tony talked about this to some degree last week, do you think they put enough together? Do you think they took enough of the right shots to bring in competition on the offensive line? Like, do you applaud the circumstance that they've set up for competition, or do you think they should have even done more?
I still stand how I was before. I would have liked to have seen an upgraded left tackle, but that didn't happen. And look, here's the reality: you can't fix everything in year one. You got to pick what you're going to change, who you're going to add, who you're going to let go, that kind of stuff. You can't get it all done, but I think they did enough on the offensive line. I think their interior is going to be good. I do, and I do think Cleveland's going to be our left guard, and I think McCarty's going to be our right guard, and then Hainsey will be the center. And then I think the tackles are we'll see. I mean, I still think Walker and Anton are penciled in as the starters. But you see Adoga out there quite a bit at right tackle. Fred Johnson gets some reps at left. We may just have to look. And again, you can win with Walker Little. He's just not. He's not as dominant as I'd like my left tackle to be. But you can beat that with what? depth with play calling, with efficiency in the run game, efficiency in the passing game, and you can get by with a good, at least average to good left tackle. But no, I'd like to see them done more.
Tommy, we know this time of year is, you're watching the ball, basically out there at practice. Whatever passing reps are going to be out there is where you're going to learn a little bit, it feels like, about the team this time of year. We've talked a lot about the offensive side. Has anybody stood out for you on the defensive side, especially given how awful the secondary was here in Jacksonville last year?
Yeah. But Buster Brown made a couple of plays today. He looked good, and they were on Brian Thomas Jr. He was right on his hip and made a nice, not swatted a ball down. It's a good throw. It was a good route. He just had great coverage. I think he is one that has looked really good. I know I've been hard on Lacey, and Ledbetter's no longer here, but I know I've been hard on those guys. Deham as well, but Lacey's put on a good bit of weight. He looks like a bigger defensive tackle. I don't know. Look, they got a lot of DTs to sort through. Right. Who's going to make that team? But his size looks good. Devin Lloyd, I tell you, man, I even said it. Rick Ballou came over with Joe Sim. He read out this running plan like that guy. I had the end zone. The end zone view is the best. You can see everything from the end zone. You can see the holes opening. You can see the backers closing. You can see everything for the most part. And his instincts against the run, I'm telling you, he's a really good run defender. Devin Lloyd is. I just got to figure out what else to do with him. But yeah, I think so. Wingard had a nice pick the last practice I was there. Backside safety, stepped in the front of Trevor and made a nice pick. I didn't see him make anything today, but listen, they're flying around. They got speed all over the place, offense and defense. And the DBs, look, it wasn't pitch and catch today. It wasn't. They made some plays as well. And I think out of all of them, I felt like Brown really stood out today.
All right, Tom, let's wrap up with this. Tony and I spoke about it earlier. You probably heard Eric Armstead on the Ozone podcast talking about it was his desire, at least at a certain point in the season, to go back to playing full-time defensive tackle. That is a position. They do have a lot of bodies there, but they don't have a lot of newness there, right? The improvement has to come internally. How much of an improvement can this front four make if Eric Armstead can return to San Francisco form as a primary three-technique defensive tackle?
I mean, it's critical. It's critical. I mean, look, when he was signed, I mean, even Josh Allen said, "I can't wait to play next to him." Get out of here. That was something that we all thought. Look, I'm not. Whatever he says, what he said. I'm glad he's inside. Just remember, like, his first sack was against Miami, and it was as a three technique, and it was a thing of beauty. I remember talking about it when I came to that next prime. Like, man, that was awesome. Like, man, he made it look so easy and got to the QB right away. But I expect those kind of things. I think he's going to make that D line a really formidable defensive line. It's critical that he plays that three technique. That's how he made his money in San Fran for the most part.
No doubt. All right, brother.
And by the way,
go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
I was just going to say, last year when he did play end, he was very good against the run. It just took too long to get to the quarterback when he was rushing the passer. But he was really stout on that point of attack and having the force and not getting pushed back and against the run. But he's way better served as a defensive tackle, that three technique.
All right, my man. Well, enjoy the next few days. Appreciate you hopping on, giving us a little camp report. Good day for De'Ami Brown, apparently out there, which goes with our question of the day. And I'll probably see you Thursday morning for a few minutes out there for practice.
Absolutely. Look forward to it, guys. Thanks so much.
All right, buddy. There he goes. Tom McManis on the Checkmate Coatings hotline. And, of course, we'll be back in studio for the full show on Friday. You can find Tommy on social media opining on the Jags and other things at Meathead55. All right, good stuff there, Tone. And I had no idea. We haven't talked to Tom. He's been out there. We weren't trying to set up the De'Ami Brown agenda for today. It just happened to coincide that he had a good day out there making some plays. And look, the best thing Tom said, Trevor Lawrence looked sharp. Again, it's June 2nd. Is it 2nd? Yes. I had to check. It's early June, and Trevor Lawrence looks sharp. He needs to look sharp in early to mid to late September and on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But rather hear that than, I didn't really look today, but we got plenty of time, Tony, because, it's going to be mounting. I want to hear more and more of this stacking good days together kind of stuff. We'll hear what Liam Cohen had to say, or at least in part, after practice today when we return in a moment and wrap up Jaguars Today on this Monday. Helmets and Heels at the top of the hour on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Goodness is what Dandy provides you. Local goodness as well. I always love to support a local company who does it right. I'm not just going to support them just because they happen to be in the same geography, but Dandy just delivers high-quality products every single time at reasonable prices. Sandwiches, subs, on the go, really a full line of convenient, on-the-fly food items. Swing into an area gate station, head to the fresh case, choose from the many amazing sandwich and sub recipes that they put together over the years. About 70 years in business, by the way, as a Jacksonville company. How about the Boom Boom Steak Sub, flame broiled beef strips, seasoned, marinated, gluten-free, no artificial ingredients, little Swiss cheese, some of that Boom Boom sauce, bam, delicious any time of day. And you know what? Speaking of any time of day, breakfast, good any time of day. Dandy's got the full lineup of that as well. Any kind of food you can imagine on the go, Dandy's got your back. And when you're hungry in Duval, do what I do. Go out and makers of Dandy and do it today.
Jaguars Today.
You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Door Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Let's take a look inside 1010XL.
Who wants the Grand Tour? That would be terrific. That would be great.
We have the drill in the morning.
Very amusing.
Jaguars Today from 10 to noon.
Good.
Helmets and Heels until 2.
Yes.
XL Prime Time and the Franchi Show afternoons.
This is great.
Then Baloo and Hacker take you into the night.
All in one location.
1010XL.
Hi, folks. It's Frank Franchi. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's Glass. Those beautiful custom glass shower enclosures, maybe a new mirror, a glass tabletop. They can even replace your foggy or cracked glass without having to replace the whole window. Lee and Kate's is local. They're family-owned. They've been a part of our community since 1926. Boy, they've taken care of me, including our brand new offices at Walk Off Charities. They did a great job. I promise they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
This is Hayes Carline, and I'm so proud of my guy, Leon Searcy.
Man, I used to want to eat all the time, but just 1 month on Physician Guided Weight Loss, and I've already dropped 15 pounds.
And I lost 25. No side effects, just results.
The GLP-1 curbs my cravings and keeps me feeling full. It's been easier than I expected, and I feel amazing.
Their staff is great, and best of all, no surprise costs.
If you're ready to bring sexy back this summer, visit pgweightloss.com.
Physician Guided Weight Loss, safe, doctor supervised.
And it works.
Your yard starting to look a little like a jungle? Well, it might be time for a little TLC. Or how about RTC, Russell Tree Care? At Russell Tree Care, they give your trees the perfect haircut. Whether it's trimming or removing, they'll make sure your yard looks its best, all while keeping safety as a top priority. Call Russell Tree Care today and let them take care of your trees. Russell Tree Care, 844-4Mr. Wood. That's 844-467-9663. Or visit RussellTreeCareLLC.com today. Your trees will thank you.
Jaguars Today Monday is built by Dream Finders Homes.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you need help with any plumbing, septic, or AC issue, just give us a call and relax. We'll send one of our first-round draft picks to tackle your problems today. DuckDuckRooter.com. That's DuckDuckRooter.com.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home this week at the newly renovated ViStar Ballpark. Tomorrow is Canines and Crustaceans Dog Day presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital, followed by Wear It Home Wednesday t-shirt giveaway. Then it's Pride Night presented by ViStar and River City Pride on Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. Don't miss Fireworks Friday and Saturday. Baseball all weekend. Tickets start at just $5. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable family fun.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's the Mangler.
Teach your birdies to sing with Dan, Jeff, and PGA Pros on Brunch with the Tour. Teed up by Clearwater Irrigation and Apex Roofing and Contracting. Brunch provided by Chick-fil-A. 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Joe C for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjax.com.
Neck pain, back pain, or headache? Shinatri Chiropractic has 4 locations: Westside, 103rd, Riverside, Arlington, and the Beaches. Acupuncture, dry needling, physical therapy. Relief starts today. Shinatri Chiropractic, 743-6700.
Swing into the hottest party of the summer. Join First Tee North Florida at the Yards on June 12th for the Summer Soiree Baja Beach Bash. We're bringing the vibrant spirit of Cabo San Lucas to the First Coast for an evening of family-friendly fun. Enjoy live music, craft cocktails, golf games, raffle prizes, and delicious Mexican-inspired cuisine from Taco Lu. Golf, fiesta, and philanthropy, all to support the impactful programs of the First Tee. Visit firstteenorthflorida.org/summer soiree to secure your tickets today.
The 2025 season schedule has dropped, and single-game tickets are on sale now. Be at the bank to watch Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars take on the biggest names in the NFL. Don't miss your favorite matchup and secure your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. See you this fall, Jags fans.
Yes, sir. That's the best decision.
I love it.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, so helmets and heels about 15 minutes away, and stick around for that. Certainly, I saw me O'Brien and Lauren Brooks out there at practice this morning in my brief time out there. 1010XL, man, we do roll deep at these Jaguar practices. There's no doubt about that. Gorgeous morning out there. You heard Tom McManis say Trevor Lawrence looks sharp. De'Ami Brown had a nice day today. Devin Lloyd showed good instincts in run defense from Tom's perspective, and that's a perspective I would trust when it comes to whether or not a linebacker has good instincts on run defense. But, Tony, starting with Liam Cohen, head coach of the Jags, who spoke just about 40 minutes ago this morning. This sound courtesy of our friends over at Jaguars.com. And you often hear defense way ahead of the offense, or the offense has a great day. That's at the expense of the defense, and vice versa, right? But Liam Cohen said today felt like to him probably the most balanced day of practice they've had so far.
Yeah, I think today was probably the most balanced it's been, where offense make a play, defense come back, make a play. I thought it was just a good competitive back and forth, whereas maybe in days prior there's been more, okay, the offense has a really good day and the defense not, or vice versa. The defense has a good day and the offense is ticked off, specifically myself. But I thought today was just a good balance of guys making plays and then coming back, okay, who needs to make a play, who's going to stop the bleeding on each side when maybe the offense or defense is making more. So I think just that competitive balance maybe has progressed over the last 6 or 7 practices. And I just thought today was probably a little bit cleaner in terms of, it wasn't just like, all right, ton of drop balls or fumble, just some of the fundamentals were cleaned up a little bit today. Was it perfect? No, but I think that's maybe an area where we progressed today.
It's good to hear, right? Like, I know a couple weeks ago when they got out there for the first time, it's kind of a slow day, especially for the offensive side of the ball. Last week, it felt like it was better when they came out for the first day last week. This week, again, it feels like the offense had some kind of momentum. Etienne is a guy that wasn't here for the beginning of the OTAs because apparently there was a flight issue.
Yeah.
Is what wound up happening with that. But he's back on the field now. There's been a lot of talk all over the place about where Etienne's going to be. We've mentioned it a couple times already this morning in relation to the poll question that we have out there. I don't know what his role is going to be.
I don't either.
In this offense for this football team this year. But
he might be the primary guy.
Could be.
Could be off the team. I don't know.
We just don't know. And Coach Cohen was asked this morning about some of the rumors we've heard out there, specifically about Etienne, even potentially maybe being on the trade block.
Every day, everything we've asked him to do, he's done at a good click for us. I mean, the ability in the screen game to hand him jet sweeps, his vision so far in the run game has been good. He's done everything we've asked him to do and more. There's been a consistency. Again, one of those things where, he can shine in ways in space. It's really hard to see a runner in this setting. Are they going to get the hard, physical, tough yards? Are they going to be able to stick their foot in the ground and get those, physical, violent yards that we're going to need? That's hard to really kind of grade at this moment. He's done a great job. I don't really understand some of the stuff I've kind of seen out there. That's absolutely inaccurate.
Well, inaccurate maybe that they're shopping him, and he would know, right? And I don't think Liam Cohen needs to be that definitive about it if there's something percolating in the background. I don't think that's the case at all. I think people are just reading the room a little bit here. And you look at last year, they drafted Bucky Irving in the 4th round in Tampa, and as the season went on, he took over that backfield from Rachaad White, who was an established starter coming in, not as high profile as Travis Etienne when he first came into the league, certainly. But nevertheless, you had that. Well, they drafted one of their own in the 4th round this year. Plus, they added another one in the 7th round. We're all looking like, man, take some shots on some edge rushers. They felt like, no, we don't want to let this guy get out there to undrafted free agency, LaQuint Allen, and possibly lose out on the chance to have him. Plus, you have Bigsby, who clearly outplayed Etienne last year. So I don't think it's that difficult to look at and say if Travis Etienne is the guy who's getting outgained by basically a yard per carry by Tank Bigsby, they don't have anything committed in Etienne. The last regime picked up the 5th-year option. So, yeah, nobody's saying he's getting cut. At least I'm not saying that at this point in time. Yeah. But somewhere down the line, how many running backs are you going to carry? And I was talking to a Jag reporter this morning about that and, kind of just chatting on the sidelines. So I'm not going to put their name to it here, but they're saying, I don't know where this is coming from, similar to what Liam Cohen's saying. I'm like, well, okay, are they going to carry 4 running backs? And this person thought, probably not. Well, then who's the odd person out? That's where it's coming from. Are they going to draft a guy who is so productive at Syracuse, Tone, and can profile as a good piece? Like, you could see a world where you've got Bigsby as a 2-down thumper, you got Tootin to do a little everything, and you got Allen as your primary 3rd-down guy, good pass protector, good receiver. This is where it's coming from. Nobody is saying that there's a source indicating that Travis Etienne's not going to be back with the Jaguars, but this is a position where you can come in as a rookie, and if you got it, you got it, right? Yeah. Bucky Irving showed it last year. There are countless examples of it. I don't doubt for a second that Bajal Tootin can do the same thing if he can hang on to the football.
Yeah, it's a roster math question. I mean, that's essentially what it is. It's if Etienne is here and Bigsby is here and Tootin is here and a 7th-round draft pick that they just spent on Allen is here, so are they going to carry 4 on the 53? Right? Like, that's the question that everyone is asking. And if they are, then I would expect that one of those guys is going to be the primary kick returner at minimum. Right? Like, they would have to be at least that, if nothing else.
If they're keeping 4.
If they're keeping 4.
Oh, sure.
Like, that would be, they'd have to have a specific role in mind for that kind of thing, or they just wouldn't be active on game day.
Correct.
And they might be able to get away with it that kind of way on the 53, but not in the 46 or whatever on game day.
You just don't find too many teams that carry 4 running backs
anymore. It's a lot. It's so much.
Because nobody carries I say nobody. Rare is a team that carries a true fullback anymore on their roster, and they can get that out of Brenton Strange or one of these other tight ends if they wanted to. Let's get one more from Liam Cohen. You'll hear more from him throughout the course of the afternoon here on 1010XL. Was asked this morning about keeping Josh Hines, Allen, and Trayvon Walker on the field at the same time to give offenses more to worry about down in, down out. It does seem like a good idea, right? Here's what he had to say.
The goal, ultimately, you've got to, it is a fine, it's a little bit of a balance of keeping guys fresh and wanting, you always hear the term waves of rushers, but ultimately you've got to have your best guys on the field as much as possible, and especially in those money downs, whether it be in the third downs, known passing situations, and in the red zone, right? So I do think it's a balance, but ultimately if they're in the physical shape to be able to do it and to play down in and down out consistently, that will be really important for us. Those guys are going to have to be in elite shape. They've done a great job of getting to that point thus far, and think that they're on track to do those things in this fall.
What a freaking novel concept. Let's use our two best edge rushers on the field together and let them both rush the passer.
Crazy.
It's Liam Cohen must be next level to think of something like this, right? And I kid, because so there never should have been a down. I'm not saying a single down. I guess I am, right? Where I guess you can get caught in a substitution pattern or whatever, where for a moment Josh Hines down and Trayvon Walker not on the field, and you quickly rectify that. But to open a series with these guys on the sideline?
There was a series where you would sub those guys out, and on second down, they went quick, so you couldn't get them back on the field for the third down.
Right?
Like that kind of thing. You're like, oh, man, they got us on that.
They got us, right? But it's not by design,
but
ever.
So much of it last year was by design.
So ridiculous. I mean, it's frustrating that and Doug Peterson's no dummy, and I get it. He wasn't running the defense, but he's the head coach, right? And
he can tell him, cut it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think Liam Cohen's not going to tell Anthony Campanile play whomever more who's consistently making plays, right? I mean, anyway, just so blatantly obvious. Yeah, if they're in good enough shape, we're going to play our best players. Duh.
Yeah, and I did see on the text line a moment ago as we were talking about, the fourth running back, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Brought up a good point. I haven't thought about it all that much this way. Maybe they can carry an extra running back because of the wiggle room they have with Hunter.
Possible.
On the roster,
sure.
Right?
That's possible.
It creates another opening there. I haven't thought about exactly how you want to use it and where, but it creates at least the opportunity for another opening somewhere.
Yeah, it is a good point. By the way, our poll today, which of these four Jags with 1 year left on their deal do you have the most confidence in to have the best season? De'Ami Brown pulling 35.8%. ETN at 24.5%. He's been back and forth with Devin Lloyd, who's at 24%, so they're basically in a dead heat for second. Emmanuel Ogbah still pulling about 16% of the vote, so it is widespread, your opinion on that, and cast your ballot as you see fit. Tony and I both went with De'Ami Brown, and, maybe we're just buying into a little wishful off season, but again, I think their actions speak.
He's the one with the buzz. Yeah.
He's the one that they went out and made a priority to bring in as well, and these other guys either weren't extended or were signed after the draft in the case of Ogbah. All right, our time is done today, so let's welcome in Helmets and Heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Service by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
Lauren Brooks, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. All I have to say is I love football practice.
Oh, do you? Tell us why.
I love watching things that you can't see just from people, reporters, and they do a great job, obviously, with the play-by-play, but watching things that those types of reports are not going to tell you. So, for instance, today, Trevor Lawrence throws a ball Brenton Strange's way, across the middle. Brenton Strange ended up not catching it. Foye pass breakup. Great job by Foye. Immediately after that play, Trevor Lawrence and Brenton Strange for the next 2 minutes talking through exactly what the other expects, right? Usually it's more the quarterback. This is what I expect from the tight end. But you could see Brenton Strange also talking back to Trevor Lawrence. And so that kind of stuff, I love to see the development, the evolution of this offense.
Tom McManis joined us and said that he thought Trevor looked pretty sharp today. Again, it's one OTA practice. We're not overhyping it, but I'd rather hear that than the alternative.
Yes. As you know, as everyone knows, that's a Jags fan that likes Trevor if they're in that camp. When Trevor Lawrence is on, there aren't many better quarterbacks. When he is accurate, the velocity with which he throws the ball is so impressive. So, yeah, he looked good today, but I also have the caveat of I haven't been out to an OTA because they've been during our show prior, so I didn't see those interceptions. I just read about them.
Gotcha. All right. Well, what's coming up today on the program?
Yeah, we'll talk a ton of Jaguars, and Mia caught up with Jaguars left guard Ezra Cleveland, so we will hear from him. And then certainly, like you guys have been doing, playing some sound from today. Interesting to get to hear from Josh Hines Allen after practice. He answered the question of how much he weighed last year, but did not want to talk about his actual weight for this year.
Okay.
Yeah, leaving that to be desired.
Whatever, man. I honestly.
Like we all knew it. He was playing too heavy last year. And that's basically what he said this morning. I was playing too heavy.
And so did Liam Cohen last week, right? Like, hey, got to trim these fatties down. He didn't say that. But, like, why did you encourage him to bulk up? I mean, just some of the.
I know.
At
some point, we'll stop talking about last year. We will. But for the here and now, it's like,
right,
that's
we're
what
not
we have to talk
into
about.
the new year
Correct.
fully yet. And just to think that we almost were still just going to run back a major portion of last year, right up until the point where Liam Cohen's candidacy went off the rails momentarily. So anyway, LB, have a great show.
Yeah, so glad we have him and James Gladstone, and thank you so much.
All right, there you go. Lauren Brooks coming up with Taylor Dahl, Mia O'Brien for you. So tomorrow, we'll have Tuesday Top 5. Haven't decided what that will be yet. We'll hear more from folks like Liam Cohen, Josh Hines Allen, and others who spoke with our 1010XL personnel after practice today. Appreciate Tom McManis joining us this morning, and glad we could bring you some of the thoughts of Liam Cohen. Thanks for having me back, Tony Smith. I appreciate that. And on we go. So when's your next week off? Is it next week?
Next week, yeah.
They're coming. It's that season.
It's that time of year.
Okay, so we're together this week. You're gone next week. We're together for another week. Then I'm gone the week after that.
And then July, we're taking weeks too.
We're and just trying to get.
And then it'll be training camp.
And exactly. Yep. And then it will on roll down the hill for us. All right, that'll do it for us. For Tony Smith and Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey, inviting you to stick around for Helmets and Heels coming up next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Dan Hicken.
You just happen to have one of those jobs.